All right, guys, we're live. Episode 186 of the Shooter's Mindset Show. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Nikki Clevenger's joining us. She pulled a Dustin last week.
My sister moved to Milwaukee.
Slacker.
She needed help packing from South Carolina to Wisconsin. Who does that?
There has to be a good reason for you to like do some shit like that, to move to South Carolina to Wisconsin.
The best
because like they don't see the sun majority of the time. So
for love.
I'm just saying. Oh,
she moved for love.
Okay. Whatever. All right. Jennifer Seymour joining us. Jen.
Hello, everyone.
Guess the star of the hour. Going to ruin his last name. I'm just going to let you know now. It's Nick Saiti, right?
Saiti.
Saiti. Oh, bam. You got to say it with the accent or it don't sound good.
That's right. You don't even want to pronounce my first name.
Yeah, I saw the Nick in the middle, and I'm like, I'm running with that one.
That's good. Just
yeah,
go with
so
that.
There we go. All right, we got to make sure you get your questions in for Nick throughout the show. We're trying to get the secret from secret weapons training in this show without actually paying him any money to take his class. So that's the point.
I will never divulge the secret.
Yeah, so he knows the secret. And we're trying to get it out of him for free here on the Shooter's Mindset episode 186. So make sure you get the questions in so we can reveal the secrets that Nick has.
You too can have the secret for $19.95.
Yeah.
Plus shipping and handling.
Yeah. If you call now, you get 2 secrets.
Yes, exactly. And a sham wow.
Yeah. Show sponsors here, the folks over at Tactical Shit, shop.tacticalshit.com. We got a discount code coming from them later on in the discount corner section of the show. Great folks who support IDPA, USPSA, and 3-Gun. And they're also really cool dudes. I'm really digging them. So go check out their shop next time you're shopping around for some tactical gear or shooting accessories or clothing or whatever. They kind of have it all over at Shop.Tactical Shit. Check out their retail space over at St. Peters, Missouri. Where the discount code, if you yell it at the cashier, also works. All right. Q&A section. If you're on the YouTube side of things, top right-hand corner. If you're watching live from YouTube, you can kind of join the conversation there. We'll get your questions answered, hopefully, for the live show. Also, you can do so. Jen put up a post on the Shooter's Mindset Shooter's Mindset Facebook page, where you can just put your questions in the comments of that post, and we'll get them to Nick throughout the show. All right. Also, check out theshootersmindset.com for new blog articles. I got like 3 that I got to put out. I just switched computers, kind of like Jen, who's got a new computer, and not all my software is installed, so I'm having some problems getting shit together. But I got 3 articles in the queue that are going to go up on the website soon. We also got a shop over there, a lot of TTI gear, Rise Armament gear at the shop. All the stuff. Just follow the shootersmindset.com. Got a lot of cool shit going on over there. And I just want to throw out this announcement here from my good folks over at Tactical Life. They just got some really cool shit in. They got their own forged lowers and all that fancy AR stuff, and they're doing a giveaway. So head over to Tactical Life on Facebook, on Instagram. If you want for your chance to win some cool AR gear, you can do so over there. Check them out. All right, Nick, for those who aren't familiar with you, never heard of you, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what got you involved in competitive shooting?
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, man. So I've been shooting, I think 04 I started, and I never grew up with guns or anything like that. I'm a first-generation American. My parents were immigrants, so we never really had guns in the house or anything like that. So I moved to Arizona, and a few years later, bought my first gun and kind of got bored of just plinking out in the desert and at the shooting range. So I found a local match, and some guys convinced me to shoot it, and I think I ended up like 5th. It was an IDPA match. So I bug bit, I went through my life in pretty much mediocrity as far as sports and things like that. So I found something I was really good at and just never looked back. All my free time has been towards that now.
Yeah, 5th overall in an IDPA match. That'll tell you something, right? Usually, even in IDPA, whatever, But still, like you said, you never really you bought a gun plinking out in the desert, and then you come into shooting sports. It's one thing to be accurate, but then when you got to move with things, when you got to move and do shit other than just shooting at a target right in front of you, it kind of changes things.
Yeah, I came from more of a aiming background. There's a lot of guys that either start aiming or they start just going fast and blazing away. And I think it's easier for the latter. Like you can learn how to aim if you're really fast, but you can't really learn how to haul ass and go really fast if you're an aimer. It's harder.
Yeah, that's always kind of a struggle. People trying to find the perfect balance, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's always kind of something that I don't think even the best. I think the best kind of still struggle with today is finding that perfect speed. I think obviously practice and stuff pays off, but
like I said, some people start with that aiming background, and others start with the speed, and you just got to find which one you are and tweak your skill set accordingly.
Indeed.
I'm ready to find the speed.
They're both hard, man.
Well,
if you come from the aiming background, it's hard to find a speed, and then if you come from the speed background, it's hard to find the aim, and that's the accuracy. I shouldn't say aim, but the accuracy. That's what you need to work towards.
Right. And we kind of, I think I started in 2004. I think it was around that time myself too. But since then, I mean, you haven't been, in the game in a hell of a long time, but since then you won some high overalls and some 3-gun matches, some local matches. You came in third place at multi-gun nationals twice. So that's pretty impressive. Well,
this last year, I put in, the rifle has always been my weak point, the long range rifle. So I put in extra work this year, focused more on that. And I felt like I did better, but I ended up 4th this year. So I got worse in the standings. But it's, it's the whole package. It's not just one thing. And I think I just kind of focused on the one thing too much instead of trying to work the whole package.
Right, and you're an open shooter, right? In both USPSA and 3-gun. Is that your calling card, the open guy?
Yeah, pretty much. It's the top fuel dragster, man. I want to see how fast I can go, so that's the fastest you can get.
All right, and we've talked to some, a lot of people here on the Shooter's Mindset, and some, which is interesting, and some have different takes on this question. So I always like to, should someone starting out in the game, would you recommend them go straight to open and learn running a pistol with a dot or running a shotgun with a dot or, whatever? Or just start in production and learn the iron sights first? What is your take on that? Because I've talked to Max, and Max says running a dot helps you become better open shooter. A better iron shooter. But some say the opposite.
They definitely complement each other. I'll tell you that. The iron sights, you have to, switch your focus while you're shooting. So it's a little harder. You got a lot more things going on. With the open gun, you're running at such a high speed that you're trying to keep up with the gun, So the open gun, I think, complements your speed, and the limited gun makes you learn how to aim. So, with which one to start first, it's a lot easier to start with iron sights just because of the cost, You're not blinking down a couple $1,000s on a gun that you don't know if you want to shoot it or not. So I always, for new shooters, I usually lean towards, shooting a iron sight gun, limited gun, or production gun. Now I have talked to some old guys that don't want to learn. They just want to shoot, they just want to shoot fast, and they don't care about any of that other stuff. So they go straight into open. But that's a very small niche of people that do that. But the short answer, production first.
There you go.
Or iron sights in general.
There's a dude that doesn't like aiming. We're gonna use that term from now on, aiming. That I know. John McClain says, "Yeah, you got to stop aiming." So he also says, "Why do you keep promoting your secret weapon? Like, isn't it supposed to be a secret?"
I can't divulge that kind of information because it's a secret.
I don't know. We're trying to get this out. Keep bringing the questions. We're going to get the secret soon. It's going to be before the hour's up. We're going to get the secret. All right, guys? Because we all pay to train, and we all want that one secret to be the best. All right? And I've taken some classes, and I haven't gotten a secret yet. The secret sauce. All right? The magic juice, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. All right, I haven't found it. And Nick holds the secret.
Yes, I'm not going to divulge it till the end.
There you go.
Wait till the end. That means we're going to get it at the end.
Yes.
Havoc Legion student team says he's checking in. Jessica Nitzel says, tell us. Yeah.
Yeah, you're late.
You're late. Havoc shooting team. Come on now. Havoc Legion shooting team. You're late.
Jessica Nitzel says, tell us more about your career and accomplishments in carry optics.
It was a dark time in my life. I really didn't know where I was going.
Oh, is she joking?
Yeah.
I thought she was being a nice friend, being like, "Oh, you're better than that."
Open shooters with the hot rods. You get a Honda Civic.
Yes.
And you hook it up.
Well, it's initially when you're shooting carry optics, it's not like shooting open. When you're shooting that dot and there's no compensator, you're breaking the shot and then the dot disappears and it goes somewhere and then eventually it comes back. Where an open gun, you have that compensator so the dot stays in the window. Well, definitely not the case with carry optics. There's a lot of guys are doing tuning with springs and different like heavier bullets, I think is the way to go now. But it just wasn't what I expected, and it was a rude awakening for me. I was trying to shoot it like an open gun, and it definitely wasn't an open gun.
Oh, man. That must have been funny.
Yeah.
Why isn't the steel falling? Yeah. Oh, man. Let's see. What do we got here? Well, since then, you started, like what we've been kind of hinting at the whole time, you started a company called Secret Weapon Training. When did you decide to start this? Why did you start it? I mean, what's the whole thing behind it?
What's the secret?
Yeah. What's the secret behind it?
Gotta milk it till the end.
How much for the secret?
Yes.
All the above.
So the whole purpose behind Secret Weapon Training is, I spend a lot of time and a lot of ammo, just blowing time, blowing ammo, wasting basically in my eyes. And that's the basis of why we came up with Secret Weapon Training, is to give people those shortcuts of, hey, if you pay attention to this, this will be the result. It's not one of those. There's a lot of instructors that just say, okay, this is what Nick does. Do X, Y, and Z, and that's okay. Go forth into the world and have at it. I want people to learn how to shoot. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm giving you the secret. There's no secret.
What? This is the whole point of having you on the show, was to learn the secret.
All right, I'll see you next time then. Thanks for having me.
There's no secret. Oh man.
There's no secret. That is the secret.
Oh shit.
No, man, it's like I said, it's just the time and effort that you put in. It's a lot of dry fire, drive, determination, and energy drinks.
There you go. I'm cool with the energy.
What is your favorite energy drink?
Ooh, Science.
Science. I never heard of this.
What color?
Like sugar-free, like supposed to be better for you than all the other energy drinks.
Yeah, so there's part of the secret. I mean, at least Nick's secret is Science. Energy drinks will get you.
Energy drinks.
Yeah. I mean, I never had that one, but I did have the Monster, 0 calories, 0 sugar.
The White Monster, that's my go-to.
The White Monster.
The only one I'll
try
drink.
it.
The White Monster.
Don't try it because I'm having trouble finding it in some stores. It's like people buy it first. They don't even try it because when I go to the store, I want to find it. All right.
The White Monster.
The White Monster.
Most of the monsters are kind of good too.
Yeah, they are. They're loaded with sugar though. That's why when I was like, no sugar.
That's like my treat whenever I just don't care. And I'm like, I don't care. I'll be a fat girl. I'm just going to go get me one.
I don't like coffee, so Java is not really my taste.
Ooh,
Yeah.
good. Chocolate.
Well, new in the world of firearms, and this is kind of leaning left and off topic. Jennifer did a photo shoot, so go follow her on the Facebooks on our 3-gun Jennifer Seymour thing. This is a photo shoot with guns and stuff. Want to tell us about that photo shoot, Jen?
What is there to say? So actually, it was kind of cool. I hooked up with somebody that I saw on Instagram. I saw him comment on something, and I went to school with his brother, who has since passed away. And I was like, and so I messaged him. I was like, "Are you his brother?" I went to high school with him and was good friends with him. And so we got to talking, and he's a photographer and he was a police officer. So I was like, "Oh yeah, I can never find a photographer that, wants to do good pictures with guns, because they all just want me in a bikini, and I'm not doing that, So
I have that same problem.
you don't think they just want you in a thong or something? Do
I don't.
they want you to be a gun bunny. Yeah. Anyway, I haven't found any local photographers here that that would, were comfortable with firearms and all that. So anyway, so he's into photography, so we did a little photo shoot. It was a little out of my comfort zone, but it was all right.
There you go. So go follow her Facebook page if you're not, so you can see these photos, all right?
I love that GT photo you put up of all your knives.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's a cool one.
It was kind of a joke because we were sitting there and he was like looking through things, and I took my knife and I was like, and stuck it in the table, and then I stuck the next one. And he was like, "Oh, keep doing that. Line them all up." I was like, "Okay."
And there you have it.
This is a nice knife. I'm just saying.
Free photo shoot. All right.
Free photo shoots are the best. My guy usually does ours for free because and his photos get used a lot in like cameras, and like that one photo of Heath that was all over the NRA. He got a ton of promotion just because that photo got used everywhere.
Oh yeah, the one with Heath.
We got the table. Yeah, we got the no, not the one of me and Heath. The one of Heath. Go figure, just Heath. But we got the table marker. Hold on, let me unplug my headset. So this came in the mail today, or last week. These were on the tables at the NRA banquets.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Look at him.
We haven't been able to get the actual poster yet that was hanging up, but we got the table triangle with him on it. So.
Well, shit, I haven't done any fancy photo shoots. Nick, have you done one? I mean, we're missing out here.
Only in college, but I needed the money.
Gosh.
Like shooting stuff. Oh, no, nothing shooting.
The only reason that I even did it is like I had sponsors that were like, "Hey, do you have a professional picture that we can post?" And I was like, "Oh, why would I get a professional picture? All my pictures are like screenshots from my videos."
That's what all mine are.
Yeah.
It's horrible resolution. I'm like, "Oh, I need like a real picture?" And they're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll look into it." So anyway.
Yeah, my one sponsor makes calendars, and he's like, "Hey, we need some pictures for the calendar." I'm like,
Yeah.
I did get in the calendar this year, though. I was May. Me and
Miss
Heath's
May, that's
picture.
your new nickname.
Well, Heath was in that one too. Of course, it can never be just me. It's always just Heath
Interesting.
or both of us.
Yeah.
Weird, right? And
Weird.
and girls are the gun bunnies.
Yeah. Well.
Look at that handsome devil. Look at
Whatever,
him.
we're not going to go there. But yeah. Havoc Leader Shooting Team says, I was shooting a practice match. That's why he's late. Shooting a practice match.
We missed you in the pre-show.
Man.
Slacker.
John McLean says, how much product do you use in your hair? Or did you just get out of the pool?
I just got out of the shower.
There you go. There's a secret on that.
No product.
No product.
Do you guys find
You weren't just blowing time and ammo, weren't you? You weren't just blowing time and ammo?
What's that? One more time?
John McLean says you weren't just blowing time and ammo, were you?
Leave it to John. Again, it was college. I needed the money.
Yeah, there you go. Run into these live questions here. We appreciate them all. Leo says, no secret. Bye, Felicia. So we're
Oh,
losing
he gone.
viewers. You should
Where's the viewers now?
I should have held off till the end.
held off to the end. Shit, thanks. Well, Patrick E. Kelly says, Nick's secret, I know it. Working on the fundamentals every session. Nick knows how to practice, and that's the secret.
You know, I do pride myself. That's one of the things that I love to do was work on little drills and just see how much I can whittle away of time. Like that's fun for me. Like I love doing that. It's not so much the matches or everything else. It was just getting out and like I would keep a range log of like local matches or big matches, and whatever I messed up on, that would be the fuel for my next practice session. And my goal was to see how far I can, or how much I can whittle away on time and, you know, best accuracy kind of thing. So just work until I can, you know, fine tune that one particular thing I was working on. And I think that's definitely what helped me, because I like doing that. I'd usually be the last one on the range. Everybody's like out of ammo, or it's too hot, I'm going home, you know, that kind of stuff. So I was usually at the end picking up brass by myself because it's out.
Did you do more dry fire or live fire, or just a equal mixture of both?
In the beginning, my family owns a couple restaurants, so being in the restaurant business, it was like something I am, not something I do. So all of my time was spent there. I would actually bring my rig and stuff to the restaurant with me and be dry firing in the back of the restaurant. I've scared more than a lot of delivery drivers coming in the back door.
I was about to say.
Open gun pointed at them. Pepsi drivers.
So you're dry firing in the back of a pizza shop.
Yeah, definitely.
That's dedication.
Did he tell you it was pizza, or are you assuming?
No, it's pizza.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that conversation. I was about to be like, Anthony.
No, I was I had some early research from some folks tell me he ran a pizza joint. So
yeah.
There you go. Come on with the last name, man. It's pizza. It's pizza. Yeah.
You can't even say his last name.
Oh,
No, I can't.
there's a little video.
My wife can't even say my last name.
What about a video?
There's a little video of you on Instagram here.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Which one?
You gotta talk when you show it, Jen, so we can see.
Can you hear it? Can you see it? What's that little video right there?
That was my Optics days. Find myself. It's a Mac 10. How can you not just mess with a Mac 10 full auto?
Yeah, that's true. We talked a little bit about some Mac 10s in the last episode, 185, featuring Masterpiece Arms. And, you know, we have dudes in the shop come all the time. Do you have them Mac 10s for sale? And, you know, and I'm like, I don't know why the hell you want one in semi-auto, but no, we don't have them in sale. So keep it moving, sir.
Looks like that Mac 10 drew out that gun bunny out of them, though.
Yeah. Well, that's how you get sponsored.
That's probably one of the most fun guns I've ever shot, Mac 10 full auto. Any gun that you shoot and it brings a smile to your face is a good gun.
That is true.
Yeah. But we have some agreements on the White Monster out here. On
The best kind.
The White Monster, I'm telling you. There's a lot of monsters out there. I've only tried two. The original and the white. All right? I know there's a lot of good ones out there, but the White Monster is above and beyond. Oh, we're talking about energy drinks. I'm back. Very nice. We've gained viewership. Jessica Nilsson says, Nick, there's so much stuff amazingly right. What is his biggest struggle in USPSA?
USPSA. You know, the whole thing, I almost quit a few years ago, and my wife told me I didn't give up all this time with you just so you can give up now. So I guess keeping the motivation and the focus, you know, to keep working on those fundamentals, that's tough. I mean, it's not fun just to do stuff over and over again. That's, you know, everybody wants to just hose stuff down and shoot fast stages and things like that. It's hard to, you know, stay on top of your game with those fundamentals, you know, practicing the draw, practicing the reload, practicing, you know, accuracy, or, you know, long range shooting. Shooting groups is a big one that nobody practices, you know what I mean? And that's why guys like Rob and Todd and these kind of people have been around for 30 freaking years, man, because they enjoy those things that nobody else likes. You know, I refer to them as the vegetables of shooting. They're good for you, but they don't taste so good. You know what I mean? So that stuff is kind of keep that stuff fresh, you know?
Yeah. I know we're gonna burn the secret into the ground, but I think we are learning the true secret of getting better here. We are working on the fundamentals, getting them times down, you know, those type of dedication, bringing the dry fire rig to the pizza shop.
You know, I know a lot of guys read that the Lenny Basham book, you know, where he talks about there's no luck or there's no, you know, born skill. It's all drive, determination, you know. And I think that will take you farther than anything else with this. Nobody's born a good shooter. I mean, yeah, you have good hand-eye coordination and things like that, and people are naturally fast. But you have to develop that stuff, and that just takes, you know, put your head down and go to work. And that's what separates, you know, being the last one on the range versus, oh, it's too hot. Let me get out of here. I don't want to even finish the stage, you know. It's all, you know, whatever you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. It's pure mathematics. There's no, you know, no way.
To be honest, I think Jessica Nitzel is such a good example of that.
No. Don't give her that stuff.
I am going to toot her horn because Jess has worked her tail off, and she has just done so well. I think. I mean, to have, you know, to break your leg and not be able to do anything, and that she just was dry fire queen. Like, I'm jealous of how good she was
there actually when she broke her leg.
So, but she's just
to this day, I see her going from those port boxes to port boxes. I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna happen.
I know.
Break her leg again.
But it was just hard work and determination, and she has really, really done well. So
yeah.
I watch all her stuff on Instagram and stuff. I watch it all the time.
I watch and I say, yeah, I'm gonna dry fire more. Hey, I just ordered that laser though that she uses. I was like, what is that laser? And she sent me a link. So I just ordered it. It should be on the way here. And then I'm gonna hit her up and make her like beat me over the head and do it.
What is it? What is it? The eye marksman?
Yes.
Okay. So is this a laser that goes in to any gun?
Yes. It is caliber specific. And then it has an app. She said it has an app, and you point it at the target, and it'll tell where you're hitting.
Okay, so that's fun. So you keep your same gun,
Can we get a review?
trigger.
Did she do a review for that for Shooter's Mindset? Did I miss that?
No, she hasn't put up an article on that specifically. No.
But all of her videos.
Jen and Jess gonna get together.
If you see her shooting and you see the laser, she did one that was recent. I think she even labeled it frustration, where she started trying to do something and she was like frustration, and then the next one getting a little bit better, and then she finally got it. And you can see the video where she's watching to see if the laser actually hits the little popper at the end.
Yeah, it's a good tool because you can focus on exactly what you're doing versus just going through the motions. You know, I didn't have a luxury of that stuff. I just, you know, put my head down and went to work as far as just work with whatever I had. Just picked up my open gun and just dry fire. And that's why I think, you know, my draw and my reloads are so good, because that's all I ever did was just dry fire. And that's basically the only thing you can work at is, you know, you can really fine tune those things. It's not the only thing you can work at. But.
Yeah. Interesting. And I think there was some crazy deals going on that. I heard like some 50% off. I heard some crazy deals on that eye marksman unit. So
yeah, you got to hook up with Jess though. She has some deals.
So there's some wicked deals. out there for this.
Jessica just sent me a picture, Nick. This is interesting.
What's that?
Of you laughing. I said, Jessica just sent me a picture. This is interesting.
Uh-oh.
Of you laughing when she broke her leg.
Were you laughing in the background when she broke her leg, or?
I think I was actually going, yes, like that.
Oh, man.
No, I'm just kidding. I was,
Can we see the picture, Jen, or no?
I actually screamed to her. I was like, finish the stage. So she plowed through it, man. I was amazed that she actually finished it off.
Man, I think that video got
soldier.
shared more than anything. But yeah, I think a bunch would have stopped.
It's not every day you see somebody just straight break their leg and then get back up and.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Well, it didn't look like she broke it,
going.
right? Initially in the video.
No, not.
It didn't look like she broke it. It wasn't like one of those like it was like that. You know what I mean?
No, it wasn't like a bone sticking out of the leg or nothing.
No, nothing like that.
Like if she didn't say nothing, we would have no idea. She just finished the stage and that was it. You wouldn't really have no idea of those injuries. Alrighty, we're gonna move. We have any live stuff on the Facebook side?
Let me look.
She's too busy texting Jeff.
Trying to multitask.
Nothing.
It's pinned at the top, but we do not have anything. Well, Nils says, what's the most important thing for a new shooter to focus on in practice and dry fire? That's a good question.
Well, getting your technique down, first of all, before you add the elements of speed and things like that, where do it right, perfect practice instead of just practice. So fine-tuning the exact motions of, let's say the draw, where you're breaking things down into manageable pieces. I teach the draw in 3 steps, where you're grabbing the gun, presenting the gun, and then sight alignment at the end. Well, each one of those has its own little nuances where you need to focus on. So paying attention to the exact movements you're doing versus just going through the motions mindlessly. And people think that's dry firing, but no, you have to pay attention to what you're doing versus just, mindlessly drawing or reloading or what have you. So pay attention.
There it is. All right, going to move into the discount corner here. Yeah, like I said, man, if you really listen to the show, I know we were joking about this earlier and, shit show, but I think there is a secret here if you're listening. And it could have been, whatever. If you listen to the Shooter's Mindset show, maybe the secret was revealed before. You just didn't hear it. All right, but there's a trend. All right? And if you catch the trend, you know what the secret already is. All righty, Jen, discount corner, we're going to go there. What do you got?
Carbon Arms, you can get 10% off with the code TSM10. So you can get 10% off on shotgun, shell caddies, test rigs, extension tubes for stogers, or they have a bunch of extension tubes, hand guards for AR-15s. So check them out at carbonarms.us. You can get 10% off with TSM10. And then in the Shooter's Mindset store, you can get 10% off with Jen TSM10, because my code is cooler than Nikki's.
Boom. It's the most used.
One less letter to type.
It is one whole letter less.
It is the most used discount code.
It's like fractions of a second in shooting.
That's a lifetime.
It is. So, Nikki, you're up with your discount codes.
Check out American Defense Manufacturing. Use discount code 3GUN10. It's the number 3, the word gun, and the number 10. It'll save you 10%. Hit me or Heath up or Team Plunger up on Facebook, and we can save you 15% at Criterion Barrels or 20% at True Spec. You can also go to the Shooter's Mindset and use discount code Nikki, N-I-K-I, TSM10. You save 10% at the Shooter's Mindset store. And Red Hill Tactical is actually running a competition amongst its. So if you want a pretty sweet Kydex holster, like, I don't know if it'll be as cool as mine, but it'll be pretty cool. I think mine's a one of a kind. Not really. I think everybody's now getting that American. He done sold my American flag pattern out to everybody. But you can get a sweet Kydex holster. Use at Red Hill Tactical. Use discount code Clevenger. So that means he can beat everybody else because more people used our discount code than anybody's. So Clevenger, discount code Clevenger for Red Hill Tactical, Kydex holsters.
Yeah, I've dealt with Robert in the past, and he makes some phenomenal stuff.
He does.
For
I got three more coming soon. So as soon as those come, you'll see more pictures on Facebook from us. Rocking those. I got some in the waistband holsters coming.
All right, Nick. Any on the fly discount deals you know of? Want to share?
No, brother. I just want to shoot.
Discount. I just want to shoot. Yeah, I hear you. I got some discount codes. I got a lot of them here. I got shop.tacticalshit.com. TSM10 saves you 10% off anything over at Tactical Shit. Shop.tacticalshit.com. TSM10. All right. Folks over at Dewey Rods, DeweyRods.com. TSM15 saves you 15% off anything over at DeweyRods.com. Also, Taran Tactical Innovations. I mean, California had a law that was just, overturned by a lawyer or something on the mag cap. I don't know. I didn't read real into it, so I don't want to get into it. But there's some good news for the California folks finally. All right. And Taran Tactical Innovations is out of California, so that's where it popped into my mind. TaranTacticalInnovations.com. TSM10 saves you 10% off anything over there. So even custom gun work and stuff like that, you can get 10% off over there. Folks over at UM Tactical, TSM10 saves you 10% off everything over at UM Tactical. And lastly, I got RandCLP. That's RandCLP.com. Mindset 16 saves you 15% off over there. All right. Done with discount corner stuff. What do we got on the? What do we have here? Okay, Nikki, you had a question for Nick that you threw in there, and I know Nick, you shared some pictures of you were working on an article for a company. Nikki, what do you got?
Yes. So when writing blogs, or Anthony had mentioned before that you do some freelance writing for Recoil, what kind of material do you find gets most views or gets most? What intrigues people? Anything surprising that you wrote about was like, I didn't think it'd get that much attention?
It's so odd in regards to material, because you never know what's going to hit. It's just like Instagram. You put all this work into something you think that's going to be a cool video, and then it doesn't get as many views as this random off the wall one that you just throw together. So it's kind of hit or miss as far as that. And I haven't figured out the secret to it as far as which one's better than the other. I know, like, I did an article on shooting on the move and like how to do it and what the basics are, and that one got some good feedback. I got some good feedback on that one.
Interesting. So Recoil is, there's a top-end magazine, one of those. You see it everywhere. And Nick, you're doing some work. Is there anything up and coming you got that you can, you don't have to spill all the beans? Is there anything on your next article that you have coming out for Recoil?
Working on a couple of them actually. One's a PRS match. I'm gonna go shoot a PRS match. That's gonna be interesting because I've never done that before, but
totally different.
Kind of a new shooter's perspective on that.
Awesome. And we've been doing a lot of episodes on regarding PRS stuff in the last couple of weeks here on the Shooter's Mindset. So that's going to be interesting. So stay tuned to Recoil Magazine. If you guys are subscribed, whatever, go pick it up off the newsstand. Eventually you'll see some article on that, which is probably going to be great. You always hear the saying, like we said, you're an open division 3-gun shooter and USPSA shooter primarily, and you always hear that saying, the winner of open division is the shooter whose gears ran the best throughout the match. So what do you do to ensure that your gear is running? Hope it's going to be running 100% before a match. Obviously, there shit happens. But is there anything particular you do to make sure your stuff's running top notch?
I'm a very religious person, so I pray. Yeah. I mean that's the biggest thing is a shotgun. Open shotgun is like nobody's got it really figured out because it's such a niche market. It's such a small market that nobody's putting R&D and proper development, or I can't say nobody, but there's not enough into it to make something that's, I mean, we're doing things with shotguns that they weren't intended to do. So nobody's putting in the work to make these things work, essentially. So I've learned the nuances of my Octale, and the problem I have now is I had 3 of them up and going, and I would steal parts from one and put it on the other, but now I'm all out of parts, and I think they're on the 4th generation of Octale, so I can't even get my parts anymore. So I got to find a new platform now. That's a big thing I'm dealing with now, is seeing which way I'm going to go. Go back to the stick feed, or maybe find another mag fed.
Yeah, the thing, especially with these open shotguns, man, they don't make the mag capacity. It's almost like you got to cut mags in half, fit them together, put them in. You know, it's like, you know, it's.
Well, when you get into like 30 rounds of shotgun ammo, man, you got to find a spring that's going to, you know, lift those rounds up. And
right.
The problem that I had was when you get into the bigger mags that hold more ammo, it's the bolt outrunning the spring in the mag. So you had to find the proper balance. And honestly, I just went with my 10 rounders and called it good. But even now, I've gotten 3 good years out of my shotgun, and it's done. Got to find a different platform or another next generation.
So in your years of running these shotguns, what have you found that goes on them? Is it just a variety of things, or is there anything people should look out for, part specific or anything like that?
Well, for the Octale, it's a Turkish gun, so the parts weren't really, you know, like pot metal parts or something. I don't know what they're made out of. Aluminum foil maybe. But they would beat each other up. So I'd replace it with a, you know, better metal on one part, but then that part would end up beating the other parts up. So it was like a chain reaction. Once you replace one, then that metallurgy is different than the other one, and you end up beating up the other part now. So end up just replacing the whole operating system.
Yeah. I mean, and why did you decide to go over? I mean, we haven't had, I mean, I know Craig ran, I think Craig Outson ran some of those back in the day, but we haven't had many shooters who chose that platform for an open shotgun. I mean, there's the Segas and the Vepers and, you know, all that type of stuff that's getting some video time recently. Why did you decide to go over to that platform over the Segas and the Vepers?
For the first few years, I was running a Benelli, stick-fed Benelli, an M1, and even that started to go south on me. So I was looking for an alternative, and one of my buddies at the range had an Octale. So he let me try it. It was really soft. It was running like less than 1,100 feet per second, and it was soft, and it seemed to run. So it was cheaper than, you know, throwing $3-4 grand into a Sega at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. You can, and I kind of fell into that. That scratch came up, and I wanted to scratch it, right? And I bought myself a Sega, right? I bought myself a Vepr, and then I realized how much, you know, they're cheap. You know, you get them. Well, now that there's kind of like a import ban on them, I guess I should have held on to it. I probably could have made a coin. But the Vepr 12, I bought one, and you know they're cheap, $600, $650, whatever it is. And then I realized how much money you need to put it into it to make it 3-gun ready, and I was like, holy shit, a little bit above my budget. You know, even though I know some folks that do the modifications.
Yeah, but still,
and still, you know, when you're putting $2,000-$3,000 into pretty much an AK design platform in a sense, you're like, what? You need to rethink things. Like, is it open really for me?
But
he keeps saying that he's a open shotgun away from shooting open. It's like, I'm an open shotgun away from shooting open. If I can just get an open shotgun that works, he's like, I'm an open shotgun away. And I'm like, no, you're not. But I keep hearing him tell people this. How are you an open shotgun away? I mean, we don't even have a pistol with an optic on it.
So he'll get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
that's easy. You just got to get the money up to buy that. It's the shotgun that, you know, you ask all the open shooters, and everybody's got their own answer of what they're doing with the shotgun. That's the uncertain part of it. Everybody knows what to do with the pistol. You know, 2011 with the dot on it and compensator, and you're good to go. rifle, you just slap a.
Or we can manage the pistol,
Yeah.
and I'm sure the rifle. I don't even know.
Yeah,
I have no issue.
Not that much.
But it's a true statement. He's literally only an open shotgun away from shooting open. But
that is a true statement, if I ever heard one.
which one? Which one?
Well, I mean, you got guys like Jerry that just, and Mike Voigt for that matter. They don't bother with new technology or anything. They just practice the crap out of stuff and make it to where their reloads are better than mine with the magazine. Putting in that work to overcome the technology.
There you go. Yeah, that's well
I wanted a shortcut, so I went MagFed.
Right. Yeah, it just made sense for me too. I was looking for the shortcut. Let me get a box fed. It's just mag changes, whatever. Just pick up, whatever.
In theory,
but that didn't work out for me. Yeah, it should. Nobody's quite figured it out yet long term.
Yeah, but at local matches, I smoke everybody on shotgun because I can load faster.
There you go.
There you go. John McLean says, "How else is Jessica amazing in Nick's opinion?"
She's very humble. She doesn't. I'm trying to search here. She has nice hair.
Mm-hmm.
I like her hat. I got nothing. She's Nils' girlfriend.
Yeah, that makes her pretty cool. That's a
point for Nils' girlfriend.
Or it makes Nils pretty cool, I guess.
No, I think it's the opposite. But yeah, I mean, everybody knows her as. It's kind of like Nils' girlfriend. No one really knows her first name, but it's like, yeah, that's Nils' girlfriend. She's kind of cool.
Y'all sitting over there joking. I don't know who Nils is. I've seen him on Facebook and stuff, but I know Jess over.
What?
Nils.
Stop it.
Yeah, Nils is just Jessica's boyfriend.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
not even joking. I mean, I've seen him in I've seen him in some of Ashley's posts, like Ashley Rourke's posts every now and then. But
oh shit.
So Nils is Jessica's boyfriend and Ashley's teammate, and that's just all we got.
Well, this goes to show you, you guys. Look at this. In our community of serious shooters, as far as pistol wise, everybody knows who Nils is. But outside of that circle, nobody knows who any of us are. You know what I mean? We're such a small
I'm not a pistol
in the grand scheme of things. It's not like we play golf or football or anything like that. And guys like Nils that are world champions, and Rob Latham, he's a little different. But guys like Nils that are
is he a world champion for real?
Yeah, he's kind of won a world championship, kind of like a top 2 or 3 dude. And
what's the best place to look him up? Facebook or Instagram?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
A legit question.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you right now. Well, you can follow Neil Johnson or.
Look, she's trying to find him, so she's going to Jessica.
You too.
Yeah, go to Jessica's page and dig deep. You'll find something. Well,
she was just recently in a relationship, wasn't
she? yeah, just recently.
It just went Facebook official.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a serious question.
Okay.
From John, which this is kind of scaring me because that's not usual for John. But look, we have him scared now, John. So he said, we discussed how we train our asses off physically trying to master the art of shooting, yet probably 80% of shooting matches is about mentally staying focused and execution of your plan. So while the other 20% is actually physically pulling the trigger and reloads, what have you done to improve your mental game?
For a long time.
Your weapon is, isn't it?
You have to pay. Yes. Look at class. All right, I'm trying to get a freebie here.
So for a long time, I focused on the physical stuff, and I thought if I can just get my physical, my skill set, and my techniques up to where it'd be better than everyone else's, that would be enough to win. And that wasn't the case. I mean, I practice and I practice and I practice, but when it comes down to it, you got to do it one time on command. And the part that kind of clicked for me was when I figured out I don't need to push every time I shoot. I just need to execute on command. So it's more about execution than trying to, I don't know, push yourself to the best reload I've ever done in my life, or the best draw, or the fastest split, or any of that stuff. It's more about doing what you can do once that buzzer goes off. And I think that's what most people kind of miss, is they try to push harder than they're supposed to, or than they should, instead of just staying in control and doing what you can. And if you still lose at that point, then you just need to work harder and practice.
Boom, there you go. That's the
More
stuff
secret.
I think we all can learn from that shit, man. The mental side of thing, I think, is what crushes my game. I just
Well,
get
Yeah,
it wrong.
once you get the technical stuff down, it's all about how you can execute it. That's the big thing that I've been on lately, is all about execution. And it kind of it's weird because it's so much easier to shoot that way. Like, I practice hard in practice. Like, I push myself to when I'm missing or failure or things like that. But in the match, you have to trust yourself in knowing that this is enough to win. This is the best I can do. And that's where, you kind of falter, because we don't trust ourselves. We think, oh, I did it better in practice, or I have a little bit more in me that I can push. And that's not the way to execute on, you'll have guys, that's why you have guys at local matches that are 4 stages long, and they'll blow everybody out the water. But when they go to a big match that's 10, 15, 20 stages long, it's like a roller coaster, they're up and down. And that all boils down to that execution. If you can execute the same way, every time, that consistency will pull you through.
Boom, there it is.
That's where I'm at right now. I don't know if that's the right answer.
You see so many people get affected by watching somebody else, like they might be shooting with Nils or somebody, or Nick or somebody really fast, and they'll watch them go, and then they think I got to shoot faster. And so they try and push themselves faster. I have one friend that always shoots way faster than he should. And he's always like, Jen, this time I'm going to go slow and I'm going to get my hits. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you always.
So I'm like, what happened to her? And he's like, I don't know. I just shot fast. But then the last match, he did. He went very methodical and very, like, he went at a pace, not just trying to blaze through. And he won the local match.
But see, this brings up something else that Angus Abdel, when I first started, he was like, the big dog, or one of them. And I learned a lot from him. I try to, soak up as much as I can from him, shooting wise. And we were practicing for Steel Challenge, and we got to the match, and I practiced hard, and I was pushing, and I was pushing, and I was pushing. And I had this certain cadence of how I would shoot the stages. And in my mind, when I got to the match, I was going to turn it down a notch and just shoot slower so I can see. Well, I put all this time into practicing this certain speed, and then I get to the match, and I'm like, okay, I need to go slower. Well, then I started missing because my timing was off. And, that's where that confidence comes into, I've been practicing this way and this speed. So just let it, do your thing and let it happen, instead of, consciously trying to pull yourself back and say, okay, I got to slow down. And now you're not used to that. So you're changing, the way you're seeing things and the timing of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So once you start playing with that stuff, that's what really throws people off, is, oh, I'm going to slow down, or I'm going to go faster. Well, no, you just got to let it happen, throw that cruise control on.
Exactly. That's, and I don't know. I know there's a lot of people who shout at me, a lot of people who talk with me. You've seen me at a match, and and there's a competitive side of me, that there's just something. It can be a time, it can be something as little as, well, he shot it in 17 seconds or whatever. Hell, I can do that in 16. I know I can. And it's that type of shit that will, you have that stage where you blow it, or you feel in your mind that you've blown it, and you weren't shooting at what the speed you practice at, right? And just, playing your game. And and that's when you go into the mental side of shit. And there's people who are mentally stronger or whatever, people who don't get involved and watching other people's times or really paying super hard attention to how he shot that stage. And we, you know, when you talk to some of the folks that come on the show, and they can be Rob Latham shooting that stage, and they don't see that. They don't really, you know, it doesn't matter what's the name on the back of the jersey. They don't really pay attention. They're just so in their head and their game that it doesn't matter if there was Michael Jordan shooting that basketball or if it was some rookie first year on the Lakers. It has no difference in their mind. And I'd see shit like that, and well, he doesn't. 17 seconds. That stage, that's a 14-second stage, you know. And you know, I'll go out there and I'll fucking blow it. Well, yeah, I might be able to do it. You know, I might be able to do it, but then there's that. You know, you might be able to do it 1 out of 3 times or whatever. And, you know, that whole type of thinking can really ruin your match.
Well, once you put expectations on your performance, then you're adding pressure to yourself, and then that pressure. I mean, nobody can add pressure to us except us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So once you put expectations of, oh man, this guy did it in X amount of time, I got to beat that, or I got to do just as good, or what have you. Once you put that in your head, instead of saying, I just need to execute what I know I can do, I got to get a good draw, a good reload, a good transition, the physical stuff that you've practiced, you know, and in preparation for the match, if you just do those things, you'll do the best you can do at that time. And you can't expect yourself to do better than you're able to do. But that's in our head. We're looking for that perfect stage, that perfect run. And I spent a lot of time trying to catch that, and it never happened. I remember even like when I won the Area 2, I remember talking to one of my good friends, and I was like, man, I messed this up, and I had a mic over here, and I did this. And he just looks at me funny, and he says, dude, you just won the fucking match. You know, what are you talking about? All these mistakes that you made, you just won. What else is there? And that's, you know, that's the mindset. You know, you got to focus on that execution and no expectations on what you're doing, because that perfection or that perfect run will never happen.
I mean, secret weapons training. Where can we go if we want to book a class, right? Seriously on this one. If we want to book a class with you and your training company, where can we go? What email can we send? Where's all the information?
Secretweapontraining.com.
There it is. There. And they have secret weapon training on social media, right? Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook. I have a partner in my endeavor, so he is my marketing guy. I'm just a trained monkey that knows how to shoot.
Okay. There you go. Well, if you want to book a class, and are you doing these classes just out of the Arizona area, or are you willing to travel? What's the deal with that?
For right now, we're just doing it out of Arizona, but our plans are to travel and, you know, start doing videos and how-to stuff, things like that. You know, take advantage of, like when I came up, the social media thing wasn't as big as it is now, you know, in the early 2000s. So I think that's really where the future is, you know. You know, taking advantage of Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. And I spend most of my time on the range. I didn't have service there, so I couldn't get on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. So there you go. If you're in the Arizona area, hell, I know if you say, hey, I got 12 dudes or whatever, you know,
at the same time?
Yeah, you got 12 dudes at the same time or whatever. Nick will be willing to travel for 12 dudes. So hit his website up and get him out there. I'm sure that's an option.
You digress this time, not me.
Yeah. Hey, 12 dudes. Yeah,
normally I'm getting in trouble for digressing. This was all you.
12 dudes. You might be willing to travel for 12 dudes.
Trading.
10 dudes, whatever. Everybody has their own flavor. Some say 7, some say 10, some say 12, whatever.
Hey, why is it only dudes and not chicks?
Why can't it just be shooters? Why can't it just be 12 shooters?
Whatever. My lingo says 12 dudes. That's what it is. If you got 12 dudes, whatever. 12 dudes and 2 chicks. 12 dudes and 2 chicks. I'm sure Nick and his partner will be trading out there.
My friends the other night, one of them said bro to me, and I was like, I'm so touched you called me bro. And so then they started calling me bro yet.
Bro yet. I have to write that one down.
All right, there you go. So 12 dudes, make it happen.
Oh yeah.
All right,
make it happen.
what time do you? And I got a little girl. She's tiny. She's like 4 months. But I got cued in that you have a couple yourself. What do you think's the right time to involve kids in shooting? Now, this can be, this is very here or there. I guess it involves some maturity of that age. But what do you got on this, Nick?
I have one and one on the way.
Congrats.
My wife's doing in September. This is thank you. This is how I met my partner, because he has a little girl, and I kind of wanted to see how it plays out with her as far as training and shooting and things like that. And I think it really boils down to, you kind of touched on it, the maturity or the mindset of the kid. I've seen, man, I know 40-year-olds that aren't ready to shoot. They just don't have the mindset for it. You know what I mean? It's just it depends, man. You got to see if they're, because safety is always the first concern. So if they have that, they listen and they have that comprehension of, once that bullet goes out of that gun and it can't come back, then they understand that concept. I think then that's a good time to start.
Boom. Yeah. I mean, you always hear stories of even on the dude side of things, the KCs and, all these guys. I've been shooting since I was 8.
Came out of the womb.
Yeah. I was a grandmaster at 9
months old.
Yeah. You're like, what? You look at some of these kids and you're like, dude, they're still playing with fidget spinners nowadays.
Yeah.
And, they don't know nothing about shooting a gun. So I guess it's all on the maturity of the kid, and you as a parent got to kind of make that judgment call when's the right time. A lot of kids out there. A lot of kids out there early. Go ahead, Nick.
And that's all, the time you put in as a parent. I'm learning this right now, where I have to do, I have to develop her sense of what's right and wrong. And, that stuff's in my hands, where, you can't just let it happen. You have to be in control of that. And that's scary, man. I barely can take care of myself.
Right. Yeah, that's what I think. Shit, I can barely take care of myself. Now I got to try to train someone else, right? Yeah. There you go on that. Any upcoming matches, projects, any goals that you have coming up, maybe with the company or yourself?
No big matches. My goal this past year was multi-gun nationals, and I kind of, dropped the ball, I guess you'd say, on that one. But the biggest thing with Secret Weapon is we're working on a video, so like a training video of the fundamentals. I break down a lot of what we do in practical shooting in 5 things. The draw, the reload, accuracy, transitions between targets, and moving. You cover those 5 things. I can't think of anything else that you can do in practical shooting other than those 5 things. And that's where the basis of Secret Weapon comes from. Just focusing on those fundamentals.
Oh, there you go. Any live stuff on the Facebook side? I got a couple on the YouTube side. But
go ahead and hit those while I'm checking.
Havoc Legion Shooting Team says, when I get in front of a classifier, I always push too hard and blow them.
Me too.
I know exactly. There's a lot of shooters kind of that can relate to this. I know exactly how to do it. I don't even ask for the hit factor. So classifiers and that type of stuff. Hey, you're going from a C to B, and I want to be that M class shooter. Yeah. I'm going to do it this time. We
had this conversation the other day, actually. There was a local classifier match here the other day, and the classification system, I think, is flawed, because these classifiers, you have people that I've seen shoot multiple times until they get the one, the run that they want. So they're shooting them, and okay, this one's good, so I'll turn this one in, and you have these grand baggers, I guess you call them. And, you have the opposite, where the people just tank them because they don't want to move up in class. So I don't think that's a fair way to gauge, how we do. But, I mean, there has to be something. So the only way I see of doing those things well is to let her rip. And if you knock one out of the park, you'll be good. But I can't see not letting it rip on classifiers. So I think that's
So let it rip, right? And let's put the grandbaggers and the sandbaggers aside for a second. Let's just talk about, like, let's just take me for example. I was always able to hang with masterclass shooters, and we're talking IDPA here. I was always able to hang with them, and I can beat them from time to time at locals, whatever. But when it came to a classifier, I was never able to hit that masterclass level. And now I know guys that will come up to a classifier, same guy next to me, and he'll classifier and bang. But when we come to a major match, I'll destroy him. I'll rip him to shreds. But I was never able to get that classifier that dude was able to pull up. So for those guys that are kind of in the match or shooting at that level, but at a classifier, they're never able to get to that level. I mean, you just say, just let it rip, man. It's going to happen. Practice the fundamentals. It'll happen. Let it rip.
Swing for the fences, for those things. Because, I mean, you're going against guys. The percentages work off of, who does the best on that run. And if you're trying to just one run and you're trying to, beat guys that have done it 50 times in a row until they got it right, it's hard, It's hard. So you just my take on it is just let it rip. But then again, before I became a grandmaster, that was all it was about, And then when I became grandmaster, it was like, that's it. No parade, no confetti, nothing.
Oh, you get a card in the mail.
Yeah, nothing. Now
you get a card in the mail that says
now they even took that away. You don't even get a card anymore.
You don't?
Nope.
Holy shit. Where have I been? I don't know. I got a postcard in the mail that says my USPSA membership's expiring. I need to renew. But that's it.
Yes.
But I didn't know you didn't get a card anymore.
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
Well, holy shit. Well, so now and I always said to the guys who got there,
Anthony, you sound like your whole world has just come crashing down because you don't get a card anymore.
I mean, shit. Well, the only parade you got was a card in the mail.
Your dreams.
Now they took that away from you.
Well, I always back to the the question, because I do want to touch on it, I guess. Back to those fundamentals. If you do everything you can do on command, and you still don't do well on the classifier, I think that's a true gauge of where you are. So I don't want to try to knock one out of the park on that one if it's not a true gauge of what I can do. So just use that execution on those classifiers. And you have some people that do better on short courses and little technical shooting versus the long hoser stuff. And it's just a different, you learn to control that stuff. Like I said, I come from that aiming background versus a speed background, so I always did better on those little technical things. Like classifiers.
You can see a lot of classifiers or a lot of stand and shoot things. A lot of fundamental base, stand in this box, hey, draw, shoot it this way, reload, shoot it this way, or whatever. There's not a lot of movement involved, and you can definitely, and that can be the play. Maybe I just moved faster, or maybe I was just quicker on my feet to position than that guy was, and I wasn't as good as a stand and shoot and draw and shoot that target at 20 yards or whatever, and whatever.
That goes with your strong suit might be that you're faster on your feet, like you said. So that's where you did better at the matches than you did on the classifiers. Yeah, so it all depends on what you want to do. If the classifier is that important to you, then focus on those fundamentals, the draw, the reload, the transitions of targets. If that's what you want out of it. If you want to win the match, I think you need more than that.
Yeah, because there's no other, and there's some guys who, they'll PM me and back in the day, whatever, hey, man, I'm going to get that master at this classifier today, whatever. And I'm like, dude, well, when you do hit it, it's like just the beginning, right? I mean, there's nothing. So
important when you don't have it.
It's like there's one thing to hit it, but then there's one thing to compete in it, right? Well, we hit GM, whatever. Now, dude, now you're in the class of wolves, right? Now you show up to a major match or an area match, and you're competing in the GM division. You're with, the Max Michels, the Nils. You're, with the Knicks. You're with all these dudes.
It's no longer that you have to win your class. Now you have to win the match.
Yeah, now you have to win your match. Just, hey, I got first B class.
Yeah, exactly.
Post it on Instagram, man. You're a rock star. Hey, that's awesome. You know, if I did it, I'd post it. There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
But
I mean,
now,
it's a good way to gauge.
yeah, now the beginning has kind of just started. Now your master class, your GM class, now you really got to put the work in, because no GM that just hit it wants to see themselves 50th, 50th overall or whatever. No one wants to see that shit, because you're used to winning A and master class or whatever. You're used to being on top of those things, and then when you hit those GM classes and you show up to a major match,
When
you're halfway down the pack.
I talk to people about it, and they always tell me, "Oh, I want to make master. I want to make grandmaster." And then my first question is, "Well, how much practice are you doing, or how much time you're putting into it?" And I shoot the local matches, and that's their practice. Well, that's not, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. So it's
yeah.
I use the analogy of a sculptor, where you have this big piece of marble, and in the beginning you're hacking off big chunks of marble, and then once you get to master and A and master and grandmaster, you're fine tuning. So it takes you twice the amount of work to do a quarter or a tenth of the amount of result.
Yeah.
So your learning curve definitely is a lot steeper when you're in your earlier classes. The D, C, B, that area.
Yeah.
And then once you get into the higher levels, you're really polishing that statue or that sculpture.
Yeah, I like that analogy you threw out there. The sculpture, you're chunking big.
That'll be 1095, please.
1095. You're chopping off big chunks in the beginning, but then once you get there, you're fine tuning. It's a good way to put it. All right, if we don't have any live, and I'm pretty clear on my end here, Jen, I think you're clear on your end. Yep. I think if we don't have any live, we're gonna wrap this one up and go to shout outs here. We're going to do that. I guess shout outs. Nikki, we'll start off with you. Shout outs. What do you have?
Shout outs to the friend request I just got from Nils. Well, I guess it's official. We're friends now. I know who Nils is. Thank you. We can talk about him now like we know him. But no, for real, shout out Criterion Barrels, American Defense Manufacturing, Eagle Imports, True Spec, Stage Zero Shooting Supply, Pure Gold Shotgun Chokes, the official shotgun choke for your nation. I always promote shop local, so my local gun shop is the Outdoor Shop. If you don't have one, you can check mine out online at theoutdoorshop.rock. Shout out Red Hill Tactical, GPO USA. I think that's it. God, I was doing so good. I was like, I got this. I don't need to look at anything. And now I'm like, dang it, I know I forgot.
GPO USA, man. I've been talking with them dudes. I'm just waiting for some optics, because they're still a young company, so there's not all those optics.
Still young. They are gonna start pushing their 1 to 6s first. So the 1 to 8 still needs some work done to it. So the daytime bright light has been adapted and fixed and should be good to go for the 1 to 8s. And then in 2018, they're looking to make some adjustments on the reticle itself. But the 1 to 6 will be coming out, and it will be ready to go. So be on the look for that in the fall on the 1 to 6s.
GPO USA is the company. We did an episode of the Shooter's Mindset with
Mike Jensen.
Mike Jensen. Yeah, check them out. You're coming into.
I just tested one of those, actually, the 1 to 6 for one of the recoil articles. Really clear glass.
Nice.
That German glass.
Yeah.
Nice, very nice.
Those 1 to 6s are coming out, so look for
I'm anxious to see one of the 1 to 8. Yeah. And that reticle they got on those 1 to 8s look awesome.
Yeah, the 1 to 8s are coming, like I said, coming out with the new light. The reticle, they had some issues in manufacturing, and they actually sent out it was really cool. They sent out an email to all the stores that they sent those 1 to 8s to, and said, send us back everything we got you, or if you sold one, contact that customer, ask them to send it back. We're going to ship them out a brand new one for free once we have fixed the reticle light in it. So
awesome.
The fixed lights in there, so they will be legit daytime bright on one power. And then we'll be making changes to the reticle for 2018.
Boom, there you go. And they're with optic companies, you're kind of jumping in a pool of sharks. So when you're a new guy out there, there's so many optic companies out there.
And how do you set yourself apart?
Yeah, that's the thing. So there you go. Check out GPO USA, and I've been waiting on some, like I said, they're still working on 1-6, 1-8, so their long range kind of PRS stuff is still in the works too. So, but definitely go check them out and see if they have anything available for you. Jen, shout outs. What do you have?
All right, Lansing Tactical. Anybody that is wanting to get into PRS, they have great gas guns. So I love my 308. Been great. DT knives. I just got a new one. Woo-hoo! So excited.
Dang, that's a beast.
Look, I love this gun. I mean, this gun. I love this knife.
Sell them all and buy yourself a pistol. Shit.
You hush. Night Force Optics, Load Up Ammunition, Sharpshooters of Augusta and Shooters of Augusta, Grizzly Targets, Lucas Oil Outdoor Line, Proper Carbon Arms, Manufacturing Operation X. That's it. That's good.
Boom, Nick. What do you have? Shout outs, man. What do you sponsors? You know, you want to shout out your wife, whatever you got.
I love you, dear.
Yeah.
Secretweapontraining.com. Questions but you can email me with any questions you have shooting related. Secretweapontraining.com. POF, my rifle sponsor. Love those guys. McLaren Custom Guns, best open guns and 2011s on the planet. And Frontier Bullets, FMP Bullets. Those are my main guys. Couldn't be where I am without them.
Excellent. Shout out to my end. Subscribe to the channel. Every Wednesday at 9, we do a new episode of the Shooter's Mindset featuring a great shooter or a great company, such as Nick himself here. We appreciate Nick coming on, spending about an hour and a half, 2 hours with us here on the Shooter's Mindset, episode 186. Thanks for coming on, Nick.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Awesome indeed. Hit that subscribe button right below the video on the YouTube side of things. If you're subscribed, you get all the latest updates from the Shooter's Mindset channel itself. If you want to email me, theshootersmindset@gmail.com is a good way to do that. If you want to tell me how good of a job I'm doing or how horrible of a job I'm doing, feel free to email me. The folks at Gear Nation USA, apparel company, local dude, putting out some top quality shirts. You know, he's not, you know, he just, it's funny, you know, the apparel companies are a dime a dozen, and they really are. In the 2A community, they're kind of everywhere, and the apparel companies in general are everywhere. But this dude's really putting stuff on the best shirts and almost making next to nothing on them, which is kind of weird. You know, you have a business, you want to make a coin, but he really cares about the ultimate product. So go check out Gear Nation USA on Facebook. They don't really even have a website yet. I do sell some of the apparel on the Shooter's Mindset shop. TheShootersMindset.com. Send me a message if you want any of their shirts. The folks over at Rise Armament for a fantastic AR-15 trigger, 308s, and I'm going to drop one in a PCC 9mm lower coming up here in a week. Folks over at Rand CLP, also Nate Square Tactical. They are my preferred CCW carry kind of holster dudes. Here's one that's kind of semi beat up, that kind of conform to my body right here. Check out the folks at n82tactical.com if you're looking for some concealed carry holsters. Taran TacticalInnovations.com. Taran's an awesome dude and putting out some great competition gear for the 3-gunners and the pistol shooters out there. Check out TaranTacticalInnovations.com. Lastly, what do I got? What is it? DK Custom Triggers. Fine. If you're still running a Glock nowadays, they have some great Glock triggers out there. A lot of people are. Check out DK Custom Triggers running Glock. All right. That'll do it for episode 186 of the Shooter's Mindset. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We're out of here.